Flexi Leads. Oh my God. So in honor of Senior Pet Adoption Month, why don't you go ahead in honor of these beautiful ladies, not me because I'm not a senior yet, but Cinnabon and Cabela. Go ahead, give them a like. Hi, Michelle.
Joe.
We're from VetMedics. We are a veterinary ambulance service. We are not a veterinary hospital. I am not a veterinarian. I am a licensed veterinary technician. So what I cannot do is diagnose, prescribe, or do surgery. But what we can do as a team is help your pet get to the nearest emergency hospital or veterinary clinic during an emergency when you are unable to do so. Cheers! It's the holiday season, and today we are talking about the top mistakes that pet owners make. So the reason why we chose this topic today is because we want to help avoid certain, issues. Pets ending up in shelters unnecessarily, financial euthanasia.
Yep, just to avoid problems that not only the new pet owners run into, but even older experienced pet owners, just common issues that we see.
Absolutely. So we've compiled a short list of the top reasons or mistakes that we think pet owners make. The number one mistake that I feel pet owners make is not doing research on the breed before they purchase or adopt. So I'm on Facebook the other day, and I look at all these research pages and Facebook pages for adoptions and shelters and such. And this woman comes on with a picture of an Australian Shepherd puppy. 14 weeks old. She's had the dog 2 weeks. And the reason she is looking for a new home for this puppy is because she can't handle the energy of the dog. She lives in an apartment. Okay, an Australian Shepherd is a herding breed, does not belong in an apartment setting. Of course that puppy's gonna drive you nuts.
We actually happen to know through our work a very, very good Australian Shepherd breeder. They would actually never sell a puppy like that to someone
Absolutely
that doesn't
not.
know what they're getting into. They're very strict. I personally, again, I think they're fantastic people with fantastic dogs. I wouldn't get one. It's not for me.
Me either.
Yeah. And but I also think, I think it ties into a second issue that I think most people to some extent do research, but if you just go on the internet and ask random people, or maybe even ask certain breeders that perhaps aren't as ethical as others,
Right.
you have to be careful about where you're sourcing information from. Mm-hmm. To just go on and, to go on social media and ask everyone's opinion about an animal-related issue
Right.
doesn't make sense.
Exactly. And so that brings us into the next reason or mistake is obtaining an animal and not having the financial resources to provide care for possibly, 10, 12, 14, and in the smaller breeds and most cats, 20 plus years, right? And certain breeds come with medical issues that you need to treat. And as an ethical pet owner, that breed needs to be researched before you acquire it, in all fairness to the pet.
Hey, buying an animal isn't just the cost of obtaining the animal, be it from a breeder or a shelter or rescue.
Right.
Wherever, it's whatever ongoing health care, feeding, again, planning ahead. What's your life going to be like 10, 20 years from now, depending on the animal? Younger people go through changes in their lifestyle. I'm at a point where I start thinking, well, down the road, what am I going to want to deal with? What am I going to be able to deal with? Thinking ahead, both financially and in terms of lifestyle.
Oh my God, who farted? Is the camera running on?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
It was probably her. Because
Joe actually came up with this next mistake, asking Dr. Google for advice, looking for medical information. go with that one?
Well, I think it ties into what we talked about before, just doing your research, but it's doing research from the proper sources. So just Googling things, or especially my peeve, just going on and asking everyone their opinion, and someone will say, well, my mechanic's mother-in-law had a dog and this is what they did. And, you know, in anything you're researching, try to find reputable resource. Among other things, you'll just get, if you ask 30 people, you'll get 31 different opinions.
Absolutely.
And it's not helpful.
It's going to be on my gravestone. Ask your veterinarian.
That's a good
They
one.
know what is best for your pet. Sometimes you can ask me. So as most of you know, I also offer pet sitting and some overnight boarding at my house. And lately I have been getting a lot of younger dogs and puppies with COVID. Many people have been going to the shelters, which we're very happy about, and adopting puppies. And the ones that we see, they have great owners, and we're so appreciative of that. However, most people think that crate training is cruel, it doesn't work. Oh, well, they just came out of a shelter, they don't want to be caged up. If you don't crate train your puppy or your younger dog, you're really setting up for some behavioral issues as far as housebreaking and potty training and all of that, right?
Right. You need to have that option for managing your dog, for keeping them out of trouble, for preventing problems before they start. If you let the dog start getting into trouble and then start trying to break that habit, now that's harder on the dog. If you prevent the problem to begin with, it's just easier all around.
And dogs are naturally den animals. They actually like having their own little small quiet space to go into to kind of de-stress, get away from things, have a little quiet time, provide them with a treat. And a crate should always be a positive experience.
Not for punishment.
It's never
used
for
for
punishment.
Right.
Absolutely. Always a positive thing. Another little pet peeve of mine, and I think Joe's also, is kind of letting your dog, I guess, or feeling like your dog has to socialize all of the time, requires attention all of the time. You know, you think your dog has to go out to the dog park 3, 4, 5 times a day. You have to throw a ball to them and make play dates with other dogs. It's not really needed. Yes, they need exercise, they need socialization, but you need to put a limit to that. Right?
So dogs have different preferences. They have preferences in terms of how much they want to be around other dogs, how much attention they want from what people. Obviously, we have 2 dogs right here that want attention, want contact. Not all dogs do. But also dogs, regardless of what they want, need to learn to have downtime and to take a break and
It's
not
good
be
for them.
overstimulated 24/7. I think really very much a pet peeve for both of us, and through a really pretty unpleasant, unhappy experience. Please, please, please be careful with dogs in the heat.
Oh,
it ties it ties into the idea of dogs not constantly needing exercise and stimulation. It goes double and triple in the hot weather.
They don't need to go to Walmart with you.
Whew, it's getting hot in here. Hope she hurries up.
They don't need to go to Walmart. They don't need to go hiking in hot weather. Once that dog starts panting, please, we beg, people are very well intentioned. They're trying to get their dogs to do things. We've just seen really pretty tragic outcomes where you feel bad for everyone involved in the hot weather. Please, not staying in the car, not going on long hikes. That one, we really beg you.
We were on a record almost 9 years without losing a patient until heat stroke. The heat stroke.
Yeah.
A pet peeve of mine, being a licensed veterinary technician and being in the hospital setting and seeing medical issues from, I don't want to say neglect, but maybe
Kind of the opposite of neglect.
my
or it's
baby
over.
has to eat, like we call it the grandma syndrome, where we feel our pets have to be at the dinner table with us, oh, they're being cute, they need a treat. Obesity in pets is at an all-time high, and it's not a good thing. Not a good thing. Okay, so we're saving the top pet peeve, the top mistake that we think pet owners make is Flexi Leads. Oh my God. We're gonna get rid of this thing. No way.
No control if you think about holding with one hand that little brake that frequently is known to fail. And we've literally seen, and I mean, it's funny until something goes bad, someone literally talking to someone, the dog's 20 feet away, wrapped around something, doing God knows what, and they're on the Flexi lead. With the tension in the lead for the dog to move out, the dog is basically learning to pull. That's what the dog is learning to do.
Yep.
You have no control. People get some really nasty injuries from those things.
Yeah.
I'll encourage people, go Google that. Look up some of the photos of the injuries people get from Flexi Leads.
You're gonna need a lot more than this to kill the pain from using a Flexi Lead, okay? If you've ever had a rope burn or a cut from just, I mean, imagine a thin it's wire
deep,
with a little bit of fabric over it,
yeah.
and a 75-pound dog takes off, and you're not paying attention, and last minute you're trying to grab that lead to stop him. Your hand is going to be obliterated.
Another thing, you have a dog take off on you, you drop that Flexi Lead that you're only holding with one hand and trying to control the brake with your thumb, so you drop it. The dog takes off running, that thing now snaps, hits that dog in the butt. You now have a completely panicked dog.
Absolutely.
On the run.
Trouble. So in closing, to avoid these pet peeves, so we don't have to discuss them out in the open, you know, before you decide to either purchase or adopt, whether it's a puppy, a senior pet, do your DD, your due diligence. Do the research on the breed, whether it's a cat or a dog, so you're knowledgeable of what that pet is going to require: exercise, diet, medical issues that may arise in the future. And with that being said, finances. You know, it's a financial responsibility, not just the purchase of the pet, but the food. You know, some require more expensive or specialty diets. Medications like a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, you know, they're known for heart issues. That's a long-term medical problem. And make sure that you are in good physical shape yourself. If you decide to get a breed like Cabela, a hunting breed who has endless amounts of energy, a herding breed who needs to be out and about, you know, you have to have the time to be able to spend with them and give them that exercise and stimulation in all ways: mental, physical, emotional. So any input on that?
I guess just again, think ahead, try to think in realistic terms about what the animal's needs are. Mm-hmm. You know, not just your own needs, and being realistic about the animal's needs. And then I think if you do that, I think then people do really well.
And never get a Flexi Lead.
So we know that our dogs thrive on positive feedback, but so do we. So if you like anything about what we're doing, please like, comment, and subscribe. That's like dog treats to us.